Sometimes we stay a little while, we never know how long. We catch a glimpse of how we think it should be. We try to hold on. We say hello, so long, goodbye, till we meet again. We say hello, so long, goodbye. This is not the end. Old photographs that take us all the way back, another place in time. Remember when we thought things never would change? We try to hold on. We say hello, so long, goodbye, till we meet again. Till we meet again. We say hello, so long, goodbye. This is not the end. In between goodbye and the next hello, I'm reminiscing. Farewell to my friends, may our love transcend. It's you I'm missing. Wish you all the best, and most of all, I thank you. I thank you. We say hello, so long, goodbye, till we meet again. Till we meet again. We say hello, so long, goodbye, goodbye. This is not the end. In between goodbye and the next say hello, so long, goodbye, goodbye, till we meet again. Farewell to my friends. We say hello, so long, goodbye. This is not the end. In between goodbye and the next hello. Inside the OMG, episode number 8. Tough. It's tough. I really appreciate all the love and support for me and Kelly and Dee's family. It's overwhelming. So, thought I'd pay tribute. Got the tie with the symbol. Kelly sends his love to you all. He couldn't be here tonight. He is taking care of family tonight, so he sends his love. All right. As Dee would say, there's no crying in baseball. So we will try to accommodate no crying in baseball. So, where to begin? Lots to share with you tonight. I've prepared some videos, some classic videos from back in the day, from not so back in the day, and from really recent. I've got photos. I'm excited. I'm excited to share. Looks like we cut out for a second, but we're back, so we're good. All right. So, I want to kick off with the first video. Now, this is going back to, we made this video in 2003, but there's clips from when we first got together. And I met Dee in 1997, and I think I shared a few episodes back how we met, but really briefly. The original bass player, Tony Shibumi, and I were looking for a drummer. and we'd gone through 5 different drummers. No luck. Couldn't find the right guy. So Tony suggested, hey, well, there's an ad. Guy is looking for a guitar player and a bass player. This singer who's got a drummer, and he's got 2 female background singers. So we went and auditioned, and we got the gig, and it was a mix of originals and covers. And Tony and I did a rehearsal, had already done one show. There was a weekly gig at a place called the Century Club in Century City, California. And we, D was on drums, and he was okay. He was good, but there wasn't anything, he was just playing for the song. And in a rehearsal, he argued with the singer. The singer wanted him to play a particular ballad that he wrote, and he wanted to have D just crush the drums and just overplay and be loud. And one of the female background singers, she was singing lead on the song, and her vocal was really delicate and really soft. And D was arguing, saying, I'm going to support the singer. I'm not going to overplay because I'll overpower her. She'll blow her voice out. It's not going to work. Well, the singer said, this is my band. You're going to do what I want you to do. So D went ahead and just crushed it. We'd played a version of the song where, he overpowered the singer. But Tony and I looked at each other and just went, that's the guy. Oh my God, we found our drummer. So I gave him a cassette tape. Had 5 songs on it. He checked it out. He came back to me and said, hey, I want to jam. I really like what you're doing. So the first rehearsal with D, with Tony, doing our music, it was as if we'd been playing music together for years. Just incredible. And so I'm going to play you now a clip of D and I kind of talking about the old days. There's some clips of Tony and D and I. And so check this out, and I'll be right back. Hey, this is Arif.
DeHaven in the house.
So it's not ironic that you're up against the white backdrop and Dee's up against the black backdrop?
I thought we were against the blue screen. I don't know. I thought they were going to put like a beach scene behind us.
Got it.
I guess we got our budget pulled.
Oh, I didn't know it was going to be like that. We used to be called Vivid, and we wrote some songs, put out a single called Mind with Tony Shibumi on bass and myself, and then we met D in '97.
Here on the Super Duper Spobby Dom Show is Vivid!
Changed the name to Olio, put out a live album in '99.
Push it up, yeah. Push it up, come on. Get down on the floor, push it up, oh yeah. Cause ain't no party like an Olio party, cause an Olio party don't. Ain't no party like an Olio party, cause an Olio party don't stop. Ain't no party like an Olio party, cause an Olio party don't.
We put out an EP in 2001 called 3P, and now we're on the Color of Music.
We couldn't pick a color.
So we chose black and white.
It don't get no simpler than black and white. The Color of Music line is from Head Champ.
Oh, that's right. What difference does it make? Color music I create.
Take a Ride is a straight Mac Daddy song. Players at the club trying to get his hustle on, and runs up on a fine little honey, and his whole focus is getting baby to take a ride. That could be taking a ride in his car. That could be taking a ride and using ride as some form of a relationship. Let's hang with me. I can show you the world. I'll take you to the top.
Yeah. So good. Oh, man. D. It's like he's here. That's the crazy thing, is I feel like he is just still here. He is just all around. Man. So, if I hadn't touched on it before, I'm so grateful to the gift that Dee gave me. Just being able to communicate musically as an artist, as a songwriter. As a musician and an artist specifically, you've got things to say. I write songs as a form of therapy and cover a wide range of topics. And I know we joke about, there's a lot of, adult songs, but there's a lot of serious songs that we've written over the years as well. And the beautiful thing about music, and when you find the right people, there's just an unspoken knowing. When I'm able to create music and come up with an idea, and being able to go to Dee and Kelly and say, check this out. Here it is. I don't need to explain. I don't need to ask them or tell them or direct them what I think they should do. They just know. They just know instinctively because they know me. So I can present a song and they already know how to make it better. They already know what to add. They already know what I'm doing. And to be able to fall back on that kind of trust and faith, and Dee and I worked together for 22 years, and we had a shorthand that just, it couldn't be denied. And I know that the three of us, Dee, Kelly, and I, individually, we're good at what we do. But together, it was just an exponential, explosive creation that was just amazing. And in turn, when Dee came with ideas, song ideas, he didn't need to explain. He would just, all right, I got this verse idea. And he would start playing, and he would start singing, and okay, I see what you're doing. And I'd start playing guitar. We'd start harmonizing. Kelly jumps in. He does what he needs to do. And the beautiful thing is all egos are left outside. It didn't matter who wrote what part, and, oh, I wrote this part and it has to be in the song. And that didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was the song. And the song dictated where the song needed to go. And it was so obvious because the three of us were able to step back and let the song do its thing. And when you can do that, magic happens. And you're stuck on a part, everyone throws out ideas, we try everyone's idea, and everybody knows which direction makes sense. And that's where we go. So losing Dee is such an incredible loss. He's more than a friend. He's more than family. He's me. He's inside me. And I know he had my back. I always had his back. And the three of us, wow, just a great bond. And okay, I want to share this next video. This is also from back in the day. It's from the Color of Music album. I want to segue into something else that Dee did for me in my life, is he welcomed me into his church family, into his community. Dee is the son of a pastor. Pastor Carrington was a dynamic, beautiful person that did it right and was a great man. And what a father Dee had in him. There was an opportunity for a guitar player. There was a spot in the church band. They needed a guitar player. And Greg Jones, who's a great music director, and he was the music director at Friendship Baptist Church. And Dee was the drummer. Dee's dad had co-founded the church 50 years ago by this point, you know. And Greg called me up and he said, "Hey, I need a guitar player." And I said, "I've never played gospel music. What, you're going to ask me to come?" He's like, no, you're great. You're perfect. Just fill. Play the blues. You know what to do. Just play the blues. We got everything else. So Dee on drums, great bass player, Bennett Pace singer on organ. Bass players, we had Alex Evans was there at one point. Ethan Farmer, another great bass player. Damo Farmer, Quan, list goes on and on. JJ, sorry if I'm forgetting anybody, really. Greg Jones was on keys at the time, and they brought me in, and they were so awesome in letting me just figure it out. I mean, these guys were phenomenal and are phenomenal musicians. So Dee and I have been in a band for a while already. We wrote a song called Gift of a Smile. It had a real great message and a really great gospel feel. So we presented, Brent Jones became minister of music by this point, and we presented the song and said, "Hey, we'd love to do it one Sunday." And he was like, "Yeah, I love the song. Absolutely, guys." So we taught the song to the choir, and it was magical. The quality of the video, it is what it is, but you'll be able to get a great sense of the magic that was at Friendship and how welcoming they were to me, and how grateful I am for that time with them. So here's Gift of a Smile.
So I want to present to you none other than Olio, a gift of a smile. It's $2 in your bookstore. God bless you. God bless you. Day on the day, working on the bills I made, running with the mob in the race, keeping up the routine, spending lots of time in pain, knowing it's a giant wave, running up the bottom mile. Longing for the gift
That was awesome. Oh man, that brings back so many memories. And one of the singers in there is Debbie D, and Debbie D joined Olio for a while. We were a 5-piece band. There was a period after Tony had left, so Debbie D was singing background vocals, and I mean, I know a lot of you already know Debbie D, and she's one in a million. She's so great. And we had an awesome time making music together, played a bunch of shows. Alex Evans was on bass. Trevin Hickman was on keys. There was even one gig where we had Bennett, Paysinger, playing as well. And that was a magical time. It was really, really fun. So that was the Color of Music album that we were promoting. So Gift of a Smile was on that as well. So that was a nice stretch. After that time period, there was family stuff. We're building a family and kids coming, and had to take care of family stuff. So Olio kind of took a short little hiatus, and Dee and I felt we needed to recharge and fire it back up again. So we needed a permanent bass player. We wanted to find a guy that would, join the band. So this was, I believe, 2007. And a guy by the name of Matt Sherrill, he was living in Chicago at the time, and he answered an ad that we had put out a call looking for a bass player. And Matt flew out for the weekend, and he came and he auditioned, and what a great guy and what a great bass player. And he ended up spending 4 years with us, and we did the Living the Dream album. We did the Get It Good single, played a ton of shows, traveled to Mammoth. I know Matt, we have some crazy stories with Matt and Mammoth. Oh man. We shot the One Last Goodbye music video in Matt's studio. He had a studio apartment, and we made the music video there, and a lot of great memories with Matt. We did a Battle of the Bands on the Santa Monica Pier, and this was 2011. And this was kind of the beginning, actually. It was the beginning of the white tie. Before that, we had different wardrobe styles throughout the Olio years. And we were in this battle. And the first round, look, I'm not, whatever. It is what it is. We were a great band. And somehow we squeezed in the first round. We got runner-up. It was almost like they felt sorry for us. So they just okay, and Olio. And we were just, couldn't believe it. It was like, okay. I know it sounds a bit arrogant, but come on. We've been doing this a long time, and we know what we were doing. And the band we were competing against, not so much. Anyway, so we squeaked in, and the next round we thought, why don't we need some kind of uniform look? Maybe that'll do something. And so we said, why don't we all just wear white ties? Okay, we'll wear all black and white ties. And we came in, and I don't know, maybe just that united us in a certain way. It just, maybe that was the missing thing. We just needed some kind of a cohesiveness in our appearance, and we don't look like, just go up, whatever. We weren't going to be Kiss with, the makeup and the breathing fire and platform shoes and all that, but it was something we could do that was just a classic look, and it worked. We dominated, got into the finals, and the winner gets to perform on the Santa Monica Pier during the Twilight Dance Series, which is an event that Santa Monica hosts every summer. There's 10 of them, and huge artists come in and perform. And so the winner of this battle would get to open for the last Thursday of that summer. This was in 2011. So the finals were also on the Santa Monica Pier during one of those Twilight Dance Series. We had a 15-minute set, and we did our thing. And I remember Dee saying to me, after we finished, I was pacing, and I just, all these emotions, and I can't stand gatekeepers. I just, having others just be the judges of your fate. So it was nerve-wracking. Time came, they made the announcement, and we won. And I just felt so grateful and elated. Matt, Dee, and I, we did it. I mean, most of the other bands we were competing against were younger than us, but we just have always stuck to what we do, and it was so rewarding. So we ended up playing, the prize was to play again, but play a full set. So we played 45 minutes. It was, I think, September 1st, 2011. And we opened for a band called Dawes. So Dawes, they were on the rise at that time, and they're still around, and they're playing huge shows. So Dawes had a special guest sit in, and that was Jackson Browne. So Jackson Browne was sitting in for their set, and while we were performing, I look over, and Jackson Browne is at the side of the stage. He's watching our set, the whole set. And we did our set, had a great time. I walk off stage, and he's right there greeting me. And he said, "Hey, man, that was awesome. I loved your set." It was pretty amazing. I looked at Dee and looked at Matt, and we were just like, "That's Jackson Browne. That was so cool." So that was an awesome 4 years with Matt. So I wanted to share. We've got plenty of YouTube videos up with Matt, but I wanted to share something fun and ridiculous because I wanted you to see the sense of humor that Dee has had. That it was just so great. So there was a contest. Another contest. There was a contest run by something called freecreditscore.com. So you had to submit a live video of you performing this freecreditscore.com jingle. So they gave you the lyrics, and I don't know if they gave you the music or we just kind of came up with it and we did our spin on it. And Beth shot it in, one take. We set up in my dining room, and we just recorded it live and had a blast doing it. So check out this ridiculous freecreditscore.com video, and see you in a sec.
Every day you check the weather, check the time, check the news online, check the wife, check the kids, check the email messages, check the money in the bank, the gas in the tank, check the hottie walking by.
Wait, that's a dude, no
Check the
thanks.
new head too, check the mic 1, 2, cause I'm about to drop some knowledge right on top of you. You checked a lot of things already, wanna add one more. You can help your situation for sure. Check your credit score.
Where are we gonna get it?
Freecreditscore.com, don't forget free credit score. You won't regret it at all. Text the people, y'all.
Offer applies with enrollment and triple advantage.
And at the end, you can hear my dog Matisse on cue. Woo, woo. So great. Oh my God. We had so much fun making that thing. We didn't win, whatever, but the memory of it is just awesome. So great. So in 2011, Matt decided to move back home to Chicago, and Matt's always a member of our family, and we're so grateful to have him in our Olio life, in our Olio world. And he moved back to Chicago, and Dee and I looked at each other and just thought, what now? We had all this momentum. We just played on the Santa Monica Pier in front of several thousand people. Jackson Browne thought we were great. What were we going to do? So Alexa had been acting in a musical theater group called Encore, and she'd been doing it several years. She played Annie a couple times. I even was Daddy Warbucks. That was an incredible experience. But through her being at Encore, I met Kelly Hill. And Kelly Hill was kind of, jack of all trades, but master of all. He was one of those guys. Like, he was on crew, he was building sets, he was an actor. Whatever you needed Kelly to do, lighting guy, yeah, I can do it. Building sets, okay. I need you to be this character or that character, okay. So I had known Kelly for about 6 months, and one of the co-owners, Marcelo, it's Marcelo and Summer that own Encore. So Marcelo does lighting for the Goo Goo Dolls, Green Day. He's out touring, and he's got a connection with a ton of different bands and musicians. So I told Marcelo our situation. I needed a bass player. And he said, well, what about Kelly? I didn't know Kelly played bass. So give him a call. Called up Kelly. We sent him a couple songs. And the same thing happened when Dee and I first started playing together. When Kelly walked into the room and we started playing together, it was as if we'd been playing together for years. And that happened 4 days after Matt had left. And it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. So we threw Kelly into the fire and made him learn 30 songs so we could do, we were playing at Danny's Venice, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was a place where you could play 3 sets, you could try out things. It was perfect to try out songs, and it was relaxed. My son Miko would even sit in and play drums. He was 2 or 3 years old and brought the house down. That was an amazing experience. That's another thing. I'm going to sidetrack for a second. So D, being the guy he is, Miko is 7 months old, and we're rehearsing in this room. And Dee's sitting right here, like he always did. And Beth is holding Miko. And we've set up to rehearse. And Miko's leaning towards Dee. So, okay. So Beth put Miko in Dee's lap. Dee gives Miko a drumstick. Miko's holding the drumstick with 2 hands. And he hits a cymbal. And like this inner joy comes out of Miko, and he starts giggling, and he hits it again, and then he hits another drum, and he's totally fascinated, and Dee's encouraging him. And after a few minutes, I'm like, all right, come on, Beth. We need to rehearse, and come on, take Miko. He screamed. He didn't want to leave the drums. He didn't want to leave Dee. He was so upset. Temper tantrum like you wouldn't believe. From that moment, Miko became a drummer. And Dee was so instrumental in showing him things and helping him, encouraging him. And it's just, what an amazing blessing. Miko is a natural. And we would often play music together where he's playing on his little drum pads and I'm playing guitar, acoustic guitar. This is before he can talk, and we're communicating the language of music. And there's this back and forth that we shared, and Dee was such a huge part in encouraging that. So, just to show you the impact that Dee made on all of us, not just me, but Beth and Alexa and Miko. Just truly incredible. So I was going somewhere. Yes. Okay. Kelly joins the band. We're at Danny's. We get him up to speed. We end up playing House of Blues, and it's a dynamite show. So much fun. And Kelly, if you've seen us with Kelly, he's all over the place. So awesome. So awesome. A couple months later, my really good friend Damon Tedesco, who's an audio engineer, works at Fox Studios. He runs all the orchestral movie score sessions, the film sessions. Incredible guy, good friend. I talked about his dad on one of the previous episodes, Tommy Tedesco, who was a session guitar player with the Wrecking Crew. Just a great, great family. And the brother Denny, who produced and directed a film called The Wrecking Crew, which you need to see if you haven't seen. It highlights the amazing musicians from, they were the West Coast session musicians on all of, the Beach Boys and the Monkees and Sinatra, Frank Sinatra, Nancy Sinatra, Jan and Dean, list goes on and on. So check out The Wrecking Crew. I believe it's on Netflix. So watch it. So great. So Damon called me and he said, hey, LMU, Loyola Marymount University, has an audio engineering program, and they're bringing in this producer engineer, Eddie Kramer, and he needs a band. He needs a band for the weekend. And I thought of you guys. So I wanted to put your name in the hat. And what do you got to lose? Okay, let's do it. So I submitted a couple songs. Eddie checked it out and said, yeah, Olio, let's do Olio. So we came in for the weekend, Dee, Kelly, and I. And, before we went in, the whole objective was to work with Eddie Kramer. Besides this one weekend, we wanted to do more songs, not just one song, but we wanted to record with Eddie. And Eddie Kramer, if you don't know, long list of credits. He was the engineer that recorded Woodstock. Yes, actually, Woodstock. He was Jimi Hendrix's engineer. He mixed several Zeppelin albums. He produced and engineered a bunch of Kiss albums. David Bowie, Anthrax, Steve Vai, just Peter Frampton Live, the live album. It goes on and on. So we were so honored to work with Eddie. So this next clip I want to show you is us in the studio. It's actually Dee and Kelly. We convinced Eddie to work with us some more. So we ended up going to East West Studios in Hollywood, which is a premier top-of-the-line studio, or the same room that the Chili Peppers record. And, just you name it, they've recorded there. So we went and did 4 songs there with Eddie. And one of the songs is called Comeback Kings. And when we were working it out with Eddie in the rehearsal room, we came up with this drumline section. It'd be really cool if we did some kind of drumline thing. And Kelly is also a drummer. He's not just a bass player, but he's a drummer. So this clip is Dee and Kelly in the studio laying down the drumline section to Comeback Kings. So it was an awesome session with Eddie, and it went so well that a few months later, Eddie calls and says, hey, you guys want to go to France? I need a band for a week, 10 days. And it's this thing called Mix with the Masters in the south of France. I am the guest producer, and there's engineers from all over the world that want to come and learn from me, and we need a band to record. I'd love to have you guys. So, absolutely. We went over, and it was a magical 10 days in France with Eddie and the guys. We met amazing guys there. I mean, you're basically, you're in this mansion with 2 chefs in this amazing studio, and you're living the rock star life. I didn't want to leave. It was so great. So this next clip, we have a song called Hypnotized, and I just felt like it needed a rap section at the end. And D jotted down some lyrics the night before or the morning of. And so this was kind of the beginning of D's health issues. And he was having a really hard time in France. He was having a hard time breathing and trying to figure out what was going on. So he had to conserve his energy, and he was all about one take. Like, I'm going to give it all I got. You guys better hit record, and we need to make this happen right now. So what I'm about to show you is the ending rap that D had just finished writing. This is the first and only take. And it's so great. He and Kelly are in the vocal booth together. And Kelly's in there just providing dance support. And you'll see what I mean. It's just the best. So D and Kelly, south of France, one take, Hypnotized ending rap.
Hand claps. What? We're doing hand claps? We're doing hand claps on that part.
Man,
That's killing.
that was awesome. Damn.
Crazy in here.
You gotta do some hand claps. You guys think
I broke a sweat.
That brought so much joy to me right now. Oh my God. I love that. I loved it. It's magical. I mean, come on, right? I mean, Kelly, D, that's my band. I'm in that band. Man, so good. So once we got back from France, it was time to hit the road. And that was something that we hadn't really done. We'd done some regional dates in California. I know Matt, D, and I went to Denver for a show. Craig Black. What's up, Craig Black? We stayed with Craig. And that was, kind of the most we had done. And D and Kelly were game. I said, hey, what if we rent a van and start booking some shows and go up to Seattle and back, and then go east and go all the way to New York and back? And they were just like, okay, let's go. So we loaded up the van and we started doing our tour. And we booked 2 weeks at a time, and 10 days at a time, and 3 weeks at a time. And some of you are probably watching that, you know, we had met on those tours, and we're so grateful to have met you and all the love and support, especially during this time. And look, I realize I'm not really responding to anything in this thread. I'm just flowing here. I'm just going. So I see all of you are in here, and I'm really, 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 really grateful that you're here and you're enjoying this celebration with me of D. So it's just, I'm grateful beyond belief. The outpouring of love from so many people since yesterday is overwhelming. I mean, D touched people all over the world, and that was our wish. Is that our wish was to be able to share what we do with as many people as possible that would go along with the ride, with the Olio party, and anyone that wanted to have fun with us, we welcome them with open arms, and let's go do this thing. And Dee and I were constantly talking, and that was one of the beautiful things that I really cherish. In the van, the three of us, me, Dee, and Kelly, and we would take turns driving. Kelly was usually the morning driver, and I was the afternoon driver, and Dee was the night driver. So typically, we'd pull into a town, we'd set up for sound check, and our motto was, it didn't matter how many people were there. If there was one person, 5 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, we gave the same show, no matter what, because the people that were there mattered, and we didn't take you for granted, ever. So those moments after the show, we pack up, and Kelly's early riser and early to bed. So as soon as we pack up and got in the van, Kelly's in the back. Good night. He's out. Dee's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. And now we figured, well, let's get closer to the next city. We might as well drive. There's no traffic. And we would head either to a friend's house or we'd stop at a rest area. Whatever it was, you know, we could sleep for a few hours. But those moments in the car, in the van, that's where we would brainstorm. And that's where we would dream big. And the shame is there's so much more to do. We have so many dreams to fulfill. And it just breaks my heart that he's not here. I believe he's watching over us. And he'll always be with me, always be in my heart. And my intention is just to do him right, do him justice. And all of the dreams that we shared together in the van, I'll always cherish. Okay. So what I want to play for you now is in between one of the tours. Thank you, Beth. I made it, I think, an hour without needing this, but all good. All right. In between one of the tours, we decided to do a GoFundMe campaign, and we called it the Back in the Van Tour. So we wanted to raise money to cut down on touring costs because we're an indie band. We're not on a major label. There is no tour support. It's us. So we keep it streamlined. We sleep in the van. We crash at our friends' places across the country. And thank you to all of you that have housed us and been so generous to us. Thank you. So grateful to you. So we made this GoFundMe video, and some of you probably saw it, but some of you didn't. So I wanted to share the Back in the Van tour campaign with you now.
Limber now.
Take 6.
Hey, that's a group.
Yep, not us.
Whoa.
We are Olio from sunny Southern California. We're hitting the road this fall, and we need your help.
It's the Back in the Van tour, and I want to be back in the van so much. And all we need is your support to get us the van, the gas, and the promotional materials to get us out there and play a kick-ass show for you.
And as a reward, we're going to offer you guys some pretty cool stuff. If you haven't noticed yet, there's a really cool list right there in front of you. All right, look, we got everything from free music to ties to custom t-shirts, you know, all kind of really cool stuff. How about some Chuck Taylor high tops like we wear at shows? You know, maybe even a private show just for you. Or, hey, how would you like to shoot a video with Olio?
Hey.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Stuff like that. So check out the list, make a donation, do what you can. We appreciate it.
While we're on the road, you're gonna see this black box. In every city we go in, we take photos of the black box. You might wonder what's inside the black box. You gotta come to a show to find out. We'll see you out there. Thanks again for all your support.
See ya.
Thank you so much. We have Olio. Check us out at OlioMusic.com on Facebook and Twitter as well. We thank you so much.
Let's get a room. Kissing and touching. Get a room. People are fussing. Get a room. Screaming and cussing. Get a room.
That was shot on my roof. I thought it would be a really good idea to, you know, because we had trying to get the LA skyline in the background. So I convinced them to climb up on my roof, and we shot that. So great. So fun seeing just D as I know him. So here's another video clip of us in the van. This is another memory that just etched in my mind with life in the van. It's a morning. Kelly's driving. I'm in the back seat. So the way it was, D, God bless him, would always just sleep in the passenger seat. I don't know how he did it, but I was super grateful that he did, because I needed to be flat. So I got to be on the bench seat, and Kelly was on the bench seat behind me. And then we would take out the last 2 bench seats for all of our gear. So we had a 15-passenger van, and that's how we did it. So this video clip is just, I did a live stream during one of the tours a couple of years ago. It was just kind of showing, you know, life in the van. Here we are in the van. And this is just a small clip of that, of D doing his thing and chilling out in the van as we're on our way to the next show.
And in the navigation seat, we got D. So what are you up to at the moment? What are you doing?
I'm getting ready to listen to some music.
All right. What's on deck?
I'm going to listen to, for those that know me, know I love live music, so I'm about to get off into some Martin Luther McCoy, live at, I think he was at the grocery store.
Nice.
In New York.
How long ago?
It was a few years back.
Okay.
But it was great. It's because it's a 3-piece, much like Olio, guitar, bass, drums, and they're killing. And I feel like listening to that right now.
Cool. That was us in the van. That's what I remember. And the crazy thing, last night and Beth and the kids, we went to Dee's house last night to be with Leah and the kids and Dee's mom. And we pulled up to the house, and it's usually I'm showing up in the van to pick him up with his gear. Kelly and I are already together. We pick him up. As soon as he sits in the car, in the van, closes the door, and we look at each other, and it's just, okay, back in the van. Let's go. Another adventure. It's like, it was like we never left, you know. Maybe it would be 3 months, 4 months, 6 months between tours, but it was like, here we are, back in the van. Gonna miss picking him up. Okay, so now we're gonna segue to yet another battle of the bands, and this time we were battling to go and be part of the Vans Warp Tour in Alaska. It was called Road to Vans Warp Tour, and it was the kickoff show in 2016, and there was a battle here at the Slide Bar in Fullerton. So we went ahead and submitted and got a spot, did our thing, made it to the finals, and we always, it didn't matter where we performed. It was like, okay, we need room for these scrims here. They're 5x5. It lets you know who we are. If you don't know, now you know. What are you guys called? Oh yeah, the White Tie Guys. All right, yeah, Olio. Okay. So we set our stuff up, and we did our 20-minute show or 30-minute. I don't remember what it was for the finals. And once again, relying on gatekeepers for our fate. And that's how we met Chris, who became our manager for a time. Great guy. And Chris was running the battle. And he had been helping bands in Alaska be part of the Vans Warp Tour for the past couple years. So here was an opportunity for us to go to Alaska and get to play on this tour. And the hope was, win this thing, get to Alaska, and let's go do more shows. That's what we wanted to do. That was the desire. So we do our set, the final round, and now we're waiting. Judges are tallying, and we win. We're elated. We're so excited. We can't wait to go. We make it to Alaska. We're sharing the stage with Sum 41, Real Big Fish, Crown the Empire, Sleeping with Sirens, and then there's a bunch of local bands from Alaska that are on the bill. So there's 2 stages. So they're just like constantly, music's constantly pumping out all day long. And it was June 21st or 22nd. So it's the longest day of the year. The sun basically does not set in Alaska on June 21st. It looks like it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it's 10 o'clock at night, and your body is just totally out of whack. I mean, it's crazy. So we were slotted right before one of the main headliners in the middle of the day, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. There was a few thousand people there, and most of them were, I'd say the average age was like 18 years old. These kids had never heard of us. They don't know who we are. And we gave them a show. And from note one, they were in. They were moving with us, jumping with us, yelling, screaming. And that was the fastest 30 minutes I think I've ever played. It was just so much fun to have that energy. And that was the thing that Dee and I and Kelly, we really just feed off of. So if we're able to kind of create this energy and we're playing in front of 3 people, what happens when it's 3,000 people? And oh, it's overwhelming. Talk about a high. So this next clip, we just finished our 30 minutes and we're at the edge of the stage, and here we are just celebrating the audience as they're celebrating us, and we're so grateful to be there. Magical moment. Here we are in Alaska. The energy was so great. Oh my God, loved it. So much fun. And we made quite a few friends going there, and I've stayed in touch, and it's awesome. So grateful to Chris for providing that opportunity for us. A good time. So the next thing I want to talk about is another battle. I don't know what it is with us in battles. We're a glutton for punishment. So last year, this was the second year in a row we went for this Battle of the Bands, to play the Hermosa Beach Summer Concert Series. And 10,000 people show up every Sunday in August. So 4 Sundays in August, 10,000 people come, and various headliners will perform. And the year before, we didn't win. Our good friend Julian Douglas, who's the MC, he was supporting us, had our back, and was rooting for us the whole way. So we didn't win the first year, and the second year we came back, and he was so excited for us and happy that we were going for it again. So grateful to Julian. So we came in, and the battle was held at St. Roch, one of our favorite places to play in Hermosa Beach. And we did our thing. We made it through to the finals, and met some great bands in the competition, specifically a John McCloy band. Great group of guys, John, Sammy. We've connected, and they're a great band. Beautiful songs, beautiful people. They play music for the same reason we do. It's just, you love it, and you just really have no choice but to do it. And that's what we do. So making that connection with those guys was awesome. And we were fortunate enough to win the second year. And John and band, they were so gracious and encouraging and so supportive, and that was awesome. Thanks, guys. And now, looking back, I'm so happy we won, because I got to have this moment with Dee and Kelly in front of the largest crowd we've ever played in front of. 10,000 people. Got to experience Olio, and it was so much fun. So this next clip is from the Hermosa Beach Summer Concert. It's a new song that we're working on, a new album currently, and it's called Party Up. The album's called Party Up. It's Dee's song. So this is a clip of Dee singing Party Up in Hermosa Beach. And the energy, the love, it was all there. Check it out.
You
Kelly said it best. I mean, come on. So much fun. So much fun, and we were dreaming big and ready to do so many more shows like that. We would talk about how, imagine that's the new normal. 10,000 people. That's like the, we got to do that gig again? Yeah, okay. The new normal. The next clip is, we'd been doing gigs at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano over the years, and the Coach House has been really good to us. We've opened for a lot of bands. We got to open for Living Colour there, which were big heroes of ours. And Average White Band, Zapp and Roger, ABC, Loverboy, a couple tribute bands. There was a Prince tribute band and a Journey tribute band. But each time we played, the crowd was amazing. Really fun. Gave us a lot of love. And so this next clip is our last time at the Coach House, which was opening for the Motels, Martha Davis and the Motels, who are just super genuine and great. And we got off stage. Martha Davis and the Motels did their thing. And after their show, there's an area where you can sell merchandise. So Dee and I were there. Kelly was there. We were doing our thing and meeting people and signing shirts and CDs and selling hats and autographed ties. And the Motels had their gear there as well. So Martha heads over and she sees us and she was like, wow, Olio, we need to go on tour. We need to do this. So we were like, name the time, name the place, we're there. So we were in the middle of working things out with the Motels camp. And shout out to Franny, who was working hard on behalf of the Motels and us. We were to go up the Pacific Northwest into Canada and loop around and do some things in Chicago. So those were things that were on the horizon to do more shows with the Motels. And that would have been a lot of fun. So this next song is actually the song that my brother Bronco and I, with Dee, we wrote this together. It's called Box Spring. And this was the song that when Kelly first joined the band, we asked him to audition with this song. So he learned how to play this song, and that's when we knew that we found the right guy. So this is Box Spring at the Coach House, December 28th, 2018. Here we go.
That fall took a lot out of me. After this song, Martha Davis and the Motels. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you. This song's a love song of sorts. It's about making use of that box spring.
So awesome. It was really fun watching that and just reliving that. That was a song that the energy of it, by the time we got to the end, it just always felt good. Right after the solo, going back into the chorus, there was just a groove that Dee would lay down, and just this feeling and just this power, and it was always so much fun to play. We loved playing that song. He loved playing that song, and it was just a blast. All right, so I do have a couple more videos to show. Well, one more video, but I have a slideshow. So we're going to go through a bunch of shots and through the years, and we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about these moments and what was happening, and just thought it'd be fun to see some photos. So let's start it. Here we are. That's with Tony Shibumi on bass, and we're not obviously wearing the white ties. This might be 90, we're Olio, so this is like 99. Not quite sure where we are. We might be, oh, you know what? Bronco might have been with us on this gig in Truckee, California. So that was one of those all-night gigs and that was the thing that we prided ourselves in. We're not doing any cover songs. Do not shout out Freebird at an Olio show. We will not do it. So we wrote a bunch of material so that we could just play our music, and had a lot of fun doing that. So there we are. That's probably on our way to or from Mammoth. We did a lot of shows in Mammoth as well. Same trip. There's my brother Bronco on the left, and oh my God, that's my truck. Got a that time story of that truck. 3 of us, Tony, Dee, and I, coming back from Mammoth, and we're on the freeway, and my tire blew out, and that was not good. And Dee, he reached over and made sure, he outstretched his arm to stop me and Tony, as if he could hold us in if we hit anything. And fortunately, we bumped up against a guardrail, and it could have been tragic, but we had a blowout. We made it safely, changed the tire, kept on rolling. Whew, scary moment. I know Dee remembered that one well. This is probably from that same gig, Dee and I, up in Truckee. You can see the Olio poster in the back with shirts. We were selling our Ain't No Party Like an Olio Party live t-shirts. Now we're jumping around. This is Hermosa Beach Summer Concerts this past summer, 2018. And we're setting up, and Dee's son, Caden, is there helping out his dad set up his drums. And I love that moment. So good. So good. Back to Dee, back in the day. Notice how he painted the rims, and the idea was he used this fluorescent paint so we could use a black light so his drums would glow in the dark, and it worked really well. It looked amazing. So that was something he was always thinking of, like, hey, I gotta trick out my drums. I gotta do something cool. Here's Dee with Eddie Kramer. This might be at LMU, that first weekend we worked with Eddie. And at the top of the show, I played the song Hello, Goodbye, which is a tribute to my friends, our friends that, maybe you don't see them in a long time, but when you do, you pick up right where you left off. And now it's also a tribute to my friends that have passed. So Hello Goodbye, that was that session we recorded with Eddie Kramer, the first song we did with him, Hello Goodbye. And Eddie took to D. He just immediately, he just thought D was a gentle giant, and he loved him dearly. I spoke to Eddie on the phone yesterday and shared the news, and he was devastated, and sends his love to all of us and Dee's family. Fun moment, fun time. Here we are in Alaska for Van's Warped Tour, and Dee is signing. I don't know what he's signing. Maybe a tie. I can't tell, but he's using the back of that kid's shirt to do his signing. Cool poster of Dee with all of his drum endorsements. Dee was endorsed by a ton of different companies. Pintech, Soultone, Simpad, Simbag, Fatfoot. I don't know if Fatfoot's on there. But everybody loved Dee. The drum community loved Dee. He had a blog, Talkin' Chop, and his mission was to support indie drummers, up-and-coming drummers, and give them a free platform to showcase their work. And I know he's really loved in the drum community. And Dee loved the drum community and always wanted to give back and find ways to promote fellow musicians. Hermosa Beach Summer Concerts, middle of the show. I believe Beth took that shot. Same show, Hermosa Beach. Dee doing his thing. I can see Kelly in the background. All right, we're back at the top of that slideshow, so I'm going to switch over. Here we are back at Hermosa Beach. This is a House of Blues show that we did in Anaheim with Kelly and me. Loved playing House of Blues. Shout out to Gig Boss. Gig Boss is one of the best promoters we've ever worked with. Gig Boss is a guy that loves bands. He loves indie artists, and he's always trying to find ways to give back. So Gig Boss would put on these nights at House of Blues, and we played several of those shows for Gig Boss, and we love him, and I know he loved Dee dearly. So thanks, man. Thanks, GB, for always having us in your corner and looking out. So appreciate it. Here's Dee and Kelly in the studio at East West, where they're laying down. Earlier you saw the video of them doing the drumline section in Comeback Kings. We are now in the south of France, and they're in the library where they set up the drums and bass, and I'm in the control room playing and singing along as a reference. And we recorded 4 songs there. That could have been Hypnotized or Shine a Light or one of those things. The end of the week is when we did Rich People Problems. So that wasn't during that day, but that's south of France. End of the show, Hermosa Beach. I love that moment. Love it. Thank you. Thank you, is what we're saying. And love that shot. Beth took that shot. Also, the show from 2018. All right. I think we might be at the beginning of this cycle. We are. So this is now the last slideshow. This is Julian Douglas, the promoter that was rooting for us. And he's a great promoter as well. Working all the clubs in Hollywood. Been in the business a long time. He and GB really care. They really, really care about bands. And super grateful to Julian. So this is the moment before we played in front of 10,000 people, and Julian was so happy for us, and we were thrilled to share that moment with him. Melissa Reeves. For those of you that were in Bisbee, talk about magic. Melissa Reeves is an incredible artist. She's channeling Janis Joplin, but putting her own spin. So talented. So every year, for the past 4 or 5 years, we didn't do this past year, and I'm sad about that. Now, there's something called Side Pony Express Music Festival in Bisbee, Arizona. And it's an awesome, awesome festival. Bands from all over the country come and play this weekend. It's typically the second weekend in November. If you have not been to Bisbee, Arizona, you've got to go. It's a great place, magical, art community, super supportive of live music. So we did a fun thing, and it became a tradition where Olio and Melissa Reeves would jam together, and we would back her up, and it was fire. So awesome. We love Melissa, and I know Dee loved Melissa, and Melissa loved Dee, and such great memories with her. Thank you, Bisbee. Houston. During one of our tours, we played at a venue called Natsuo, which is Houston backwards. It's kind of an underground club. And the guy in the photo, his name's Eric. He's a local DJ. Never heard of us before. Saw us, loved us, bought the shirt, started playing us right away on his station. So grateful to Eric. Took a photo with him, and that was a great show. I mean, as always, we gave it our all, but really fun night in Houston. Here we are in France. We had finished recording, and we were in Paris for a couple days, walking the streets and having fun. Promo shot from 2012, probably. I love that pic. Dee is so determined right there. So notice green ties, St. Patty's Day, Austin, Texas, during South by Southwest. Dee was always good about paying attention to the holidays, and hey, he would supply the ties. Like, hey, green tie, St. Patty's Day, let's go. So we would do the green tie. We opened for the Prince tribute band. We wore purple paisley ties. We did a Halloween show, and he had ordered orange ties, but they didn't come in. They didn't come in time, so we didn't get to do the orange tie. But there we are, green ties. One of our songs was up for an award. I think it was Hello Goodbye or Show Goes On, or One Last Goodbye music video. It was in Hollywood, and so this is us before the award show, hanging out on the Sunset Strip. And we're back with Julian. So, trip down memory lane there. That was awesome. All right, so I've got one more video to play. And we're coming up on the end. We'll play the video, talk some more, and we'll end the show. Wow. I'm like an hour 40 minutes in, something like that. Thanks so much for sticking this out with me and sharing this beautiful man. So grateful to Dee and everything he's done for me and my family and how he impacted my life. I don't have enough words, only love. So this is how we closed out the Hermosa Beach summer concerts last summer. We hadn't been doing this song in a long time, and in the early days, it was the signature closer. I mean, we always had to close with this song. So I just thought it was fitting that we ended the show with this. This is classic Olio, and I'm so glad we did this. So check this out. See you on the other side of this.
There ain't no party like an Olio party, 'cause an Olio party don't stop. There ain't no party like an Olio party, 'cause an Olio party don't. There ain't no party like an Olio party, 'cause an Olio party don't stop. There ain't no party like an Olio party, 'cause an Olio party don't.
Ain't no party like an Olio party, because an Olio party don't stop. And we're going to keep with that rhythm right here. Olio opening the doors on this, our final Sunday.
We are the music. You are the movement. That's what D came up with right before that show. He was like, "Hey, I want to push this out there. We are the music, you are the movement. We want to really like generate a groundswell of support and around this Olio family and creating hashtag like it's an Olio thing." And so D was always great about coming up with cool taglines and super creative like that. So grateful. I mean, there's a lot more video and pictures and stories to share. I can't do it all in one night, but super grateful for all of you that have been tuning in and commenting. I will look through all the comments after I'm done here, and I love you. I know Kelly loves you, and Dee loves you. I'm going to close this out. With a song that Dee wrote for his dad, Pastor Carrington. And now this song is for Dee. After this song ends, that'll be the end of this episode number 8, Inside the OMG. You know, Inside the OMG is a group, a private group on Facebook we created just for the people that wanted to be there and that we could, share. So I thought a really fun thing to do 8 weeks ago would be to set up a live stream and a recurring live stream, and we would just do it every Tuesday. Didn't matter who tuned in, we would just do it, and you could catch the replay anytime. And if you go back and you watch the first show, you know, it's like haphazard and the sound isn't that great, and you know, we got better as we went, and this is the eighth one in a row. I was out of town last week, and I was trying to set up so we could do a Skype video with Dee and Kelly, and the Wi-Fi at the hotel wasn't strong enough, and my laptop wasn't strong enough because I wanted to have, you know, video of Dee and Kelly and me, and we'd have conversation and we'd share stories, and didn't quite work out like that. So I was able to get Dee on Skype audio, and we did it that way. So it worked out. So when all this happened yesterday, I can't even believe it's yesterday, I thought the show must go on. That's what Dee would have expected. And I figured out how to do this, insert a video into the software, and it worked. And it really added so much to this episode, being able to share video of him singing, performing, and talking, and laughing, smiling, and just getting a sense of who Dee was. I had so much fun making this today and sharing this with you tonight. So this last song we recorded in the south of France with Eddie Kramer. And like I mentioned, it's a tribute to his dad. And now it's a tribute to Dee. And the message is simple. Do right. Do good. Be your best. Do your best. And shine a light. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing with me and being part of this ride. I couldn't have gotten to this moment without Dee in my life. He forever changed me for the better. Made me a better father, a better husband, a better musician, a better songwriter, a better man. And I love him. And I will always love him. This is Dee. You will hear the song that we recorded called Shine a Light. I love you. Till next week.
He's a dreamer, a simple boy at heart, best friends through all the thick and thin. You always told him he could win. Different day now. There's a girl who's lost her way. You give her love and confidence. Show her she can do all things. There's always fear on the highways of your life. With your hands on the wheel, keep your eye on the prize. You can shine, shine a light. You can shine, shine a light. You can shine, shine a light. With just one light, it will be alright. Always patient, always there to lend an ear. You feel the hearts of everyone. Give comfort in the strongest storm. When the moon shines, there's a light that's in your